We're going to talk a little bit about some of the staff tools with bookings. And the big thing we did want to show you was the phone app. So the phone app's been recently released. A lot of people that we've talked to have really been waiting for that as a way to have your staff be able to access all the data that exists within AirStudio. So that's our plan for today. And then we're going to talk a little bit about our sort of our new onboarding method with a system that has as deep resources as AirStudio. We've run into a few times where some people can feel a little bit overwhelmed by how much it takes to get up and running, and we try and help you all the way through that. But I think this new method that we're utilizing for doing that will assist in this quite a bit. So for those of you who don't know, Scott, if he's above me in your screen, he is in my screen, and I'm Peter, and we're going to start the webinar. Scott, is there anything you wanted to say first?
No,
All right,
no, I think
sounds
we're
good.
good.
I'm gonna share my screen and we are gonna dive right into it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So here's what you're seeing right now is the main screen of AirStudio. Any of you who have attended any of our other webinars have seen this before. And what I wanted to start with this on is showing you some of the different kinds of bookings that occur. And with that in mind, we're going to show you how these appear to your staff on the phone app when we make the move over. So first, let's talk about how you see a few different colors here. I'm going to start with the very first one you see, which is Maplewood Fall Teams and Individuals. That green one is going to be a team and individual style of or session type. You got seniors in studio, a couple different ones like that. And then you also have one that's just called Webinar for Fun. Different locations for all of these. And we have two different mixes. We have one or a couple of these that are regular sessions where you're booking an event, whereas the other ones have the ability for end clients to book. And I will point out, you'll see under the bookable section in the grid, you also see that there's multiple groups that can book. So I'm looking primarily here at the seniors in studio for December the 13th, where you have different groups that can book in. Sorry, I'm too click happy. And as you hover over it, you can see that any of these three groups can book in for a session. What that allows, of course, is you to have sessions at your studio or at any kind of outside locations and invite other multiple schools to book at the same time. I've talked to a few people this week who are team shooters or sports shooters, and for them as well, we don't have it on this particular job at the top, the Maplewood Fall Teams, but you can utilize that if you want to allow your teams to book in as well. As we go across, you'll see here we've got different ways that you can view this on the computer, where you can see it here with a per employee basis. You can also see it as a job calendar, and that job calendar can be done on a weekly basis for a full month, or you can go down to the specific day and navigate through this way. And then back to the job list. So lots of flexibility is how you see things, but of course, as your staff are accessing your schedule, most of them are doing that on the fly on their phone. So it's very important that they're able to see these things as they go. And we'll probably come back when we talk to things like assigning employees, confirming assignments, but I did want to jump over to the app and show you guys, because we're very excited about this app, exactly what it looks like. All right, so as we look in here, we're seeing, I skipped over the login so you didn't just have to watch me text. You can trigger this to work with if your phone has got Face View, or whatchamacallit, the Face Identify ID on it, you can do that. Or if you're still in the place where you got thumbprints, that's cool too. But here you see we've got different ways to navigate through. You've got the different kinds of record types, whether you're looking at looking for employee jobs, whatever you're after. You can also go and see things like if you're looking to look for organization information, if you're looking for a single subject, all that is available here within the app. And you've got the ability, this depends a little bit on, or this depends upon the privileges of the user that signed in, whether they're seeing everybody's schedule or whether they're just seeing their own. If they have admin to see other people's schedule, then this at the top will appear to show that which schedules they're seeing. And in our case, we're going to leave it open to show everybody's schedule just to show how it works. So the first grid you see, we've got all the different days, and with there you can see which or how many jobs you have on any given day. You can alter that just by clicking here and changing this. So if I go in here, I've got it to November the 8th. I know obviously that might be a longer view, but then any of the days you can go in and see which events are scheduled on those days. And within those, we have the event itself. Once you jump into the event, then you've got the details of what is happening. You've got the date, you got the time, you got the location. You can see who it is you're going to be working with. This one, you're on your own. If there's any notes assigned or organizational notes or job notes, which are added directly from AirStudio, they're going to show in here. So here you can see we've got a standard gray background. We've got a lot of information attached to this particular organization. And this one's also a really nice feature too, in that you've got access to the contacts, which from here you can go straight through an email to this person. Obviously, that AirStudio person might be a different, or might not be someone you want to email, but we can go back through. Let's go to one and show you one that has a little bit more information attached to it. We're going to go more current. Let's see here, seniors in studio. Let's go in and take a look at all the details attached. So here you can see at a glance, we've got 3 sessions, we've got 3 employees, we've got 1 setup, and you'll notice that the bottom menu changes as soon as you enter a job versus being in the main screen. Because now as I'm looking at sessions, here is a job that you may have noticed at the beginning is one of the jobs where it's bookable. So the end students are actually booking the session. And here you can see, number 1, here's what's booked from 9 to 9:30. 9:30 to 9:35, what package they're using, what's the subject name, what's their organization. This particular one's a resit, and it says here they're resitting because they didn't like their smile. And you can see this particular session, excuse me, has people from different subject groups. So everything is shown there for you. So as a powerful tool for your photographers or your assistants to be ready along the, at the shoot, it's a great way to see everything and be completely mobile while they're doing it. Then they'll be wondering, well, who am I going to work with? Here you can see we've got 3 employees that are assigned to this job. In this case, they're not necessarily confirmed. So let's say I want to confirm my assignment. So within AirStudio, you have the ability to send out confirmations. You can do that by SMS. You can do that by email. And now that we've got the app, it can be confirmed right in the app. So depending on how your staff are laid out, if you have a staff where you need to get those confirmations where it's not just a full-time staff that's assigned to be at certain places during the day where you need to get that feedback, you now have a much more user mobile friendly way to assess that and see. And for them, of course, they not only know who they're working with, but they also have contact information for that person. I remember lots of times where this contact list would be floating around on some note or in some text where, hey, I need to get a hold of Johnny. He's supposed to be here at 8. Well, now you know, here's his phone number. It's all right in the app for you. Same deal with the notes. The notes, of course, everybody who's works in this business knows that there's always little variable incidental things that have to be communicated to your staff all the way through. In this case, of course, on the demo, I don't have a job note, but I do have lots of organizational notes, all the details that are happening about this, as well information that's specific to the subject groups. So here, in this case, the information specific is that there's no specific information. But we can live with that because now it's being communicated and everybody knows. So it's one of those things, especially once you have a staff of more than, say, 1 or 2 photographers, even at 1 or 2 photographers, that communication level is so critical as you go through. So a very simple item to set up. It's just a matter of logging in and getting into your and connecting it, but it's a very powerful tool for how your employees can see everything. Let's jump into one more job and we'll walk through it here. Before we walk back, seniors in school, that's both the same. Let's take a look at Monday, see if we've got anything. Hey, a webinar. We're in a webinar right now. What are the odds? Same deal here. You can see all the information is here, even down to things like how many people are booked. Let's take a look if we've got any sessions booked. We do. We have everything listed here, and I think, yep. And this one's already completed. Who am I working with? Oh, I better confirm that I'm gonna arrive. Notes that are here. This time we have again organizational and job notes as well as contacts. And here too, if the phone number is in there, you can initiate a phone call straight from the application while you're in there. Again, simplifying the efficiencies of what's going on. Scott, is there anything you wanted to add on our fancy new web app?
No, but we love it.
We do, we do. So
Well, I was going to add one thing is that
please.
this is phase one. Pre-spec, we anticipate having punching in and out through this whole thing, and the whole timekeeping piece put in so that the staff can punch in here to their jobs and geolocate them and report who's, all your pay reports given to a job. And also at that point, it's automatically tied to the cost for that job. So that is more of a manager tool, but that's key stuff.
Yeah, you can see here, this is where your timesheets will appear as well. If you're needing to get a hold of somebody who isn't part of a job that you're on, because again, you have things that you might have to reach out about. Now you can have, you've got access to everybody along with their contact information. You also can see here, this is some of the other components. You can see the roles that they're assigned to. And therefore, okay, if you're wondering who do I have to call, who's my direct report so that maybe a photographer is sick. Now they've got access to everybody's contact information. You can see here we've got teams that are also accessible within the app. The teams, for those of you who don't know, is another feature that AirStudio supports, which is allowing when you have multiple locations that you have to or that you utilize, being able to know which team people are on. And again, everything that's viewed here is viewed based on the privileges that the actual user has. Timesheets are already exist within AirStudio and can be utilized. And I think we've just added the geolocating so that you've got people are telling you that they are checked in at a certain place. Now you know for sure whether they are or they are not. And so we're working hard to integrate everything all the way through. For those of you who do have a question, as of today, it's just available on the Apple platform, but it's done for Android. We're just going through the bureaucracy of getting it approved. Anything else you wanted to add before we jump out of the application, Scott?
No, great.
No. And I can say that as a part of AirStudio, but also a user, as soon as this came out, I released it to my staff. I've got a small school photo operation, and so they used it for the last few weeks of retakes and jumped on it immediately and just loved it. And in fact, they were even confirming shifts that they didn't have to confirm because I didn't use the confirmation side of it. But that's all good. Better to have too much information than not enough, don't you think? All right. I did want to walk through just a couple more things in AirStudio before we let you go. Like I said, this wasn't going to be a long session, but as we jump in, we talked a little bit about some of the things that were being shown. You may have seen things like the unassigned photographers. And I did want to show outside of the different calendars and different views whoops, I'm pushing two buttons too fast. The webinar chat came in the way. Along with the other views, we also have a number of different reports that are available that can be utilized for assigning those employees. So number one, you have unassigned employees. So if you want to look at December the 9th, here's all the employees that are available. And you can take that down to maybe I just want to see how many lead photographers I have available so that as you're booking in your jobs, you make sure that you assign people that are available. You can also look at how many role assignments have been used. Oh, look, I picked one that had 0. Let's go here. Here we go. You know that now we've assigned a studio photographer, a sports photographer, and a studio photographer. Same deal here with the various teams where we can, if you've got more than one team, you can see things from a central location as we're going through. Plus, you can also see a chart to show what kind of utilization you're getting as far as total assignments through each day. Sorry, I'm on my screen is a little bit too small to show everything, but you can see how many assignments, giving you various charts as to how busy you are as all the way through. So some of those tools can really help you help you through everything. As well, when you're assigning things like the employees, if we walk through here, I'll give you just a quick tidbit of some of the things that we have available for um, assisting you guys for your booking. As you look at the role, here we've got an employee that's unassigned. The trick and one of the key elements within Air Studio is the fact that the roles dictate who is assignable. So in a scenario like this, where we have the photographer, a studio photographer is the role we need for this job, this is only going to show me studio photographers or people who are part of the studio photography role. And I'll answer your question before you ask it. And that is, if they're already booked for something, is it going to show? Yes, it will. It'll show that there's a confirmation or a conflict. But it will allow you to book because we've all been in that place. Well, okay, I want Ethan at this job, even though he's got a conflict. We're going to change his other job and make sure that everything's okay. We've got ways to send out the notification and also if we want to mark it confirmed or if we want to wait to hear back. You saw the confirmation icon within the application, and that's also available on your computer as well. Let's update that job. And now we've assigned.
I'll say the whole confirming system is used for scheduling. Generally, you're scheduling a couple weeks out and assign everybody to their jobs, and then send an email through Air Studio saying we've scheduled this entire week. Please log in and confirm your jobs. And that actually is making the photographers look at their schedule and review what they're doing. We do find in the real world maybe half or a little over half the photographers actually confirm their jobs, but they actually do show up because they're getting an email when they're assigned. They get an email or a text or both when they're assigned several days out. You can figure it all yourself, and people know where they're going generally.
And the timesheets that we talked about are, as I said, they're already here and alive. If as we look in here, you can see the basic premise behind it and allows that we can clock in. We can add notes, arrived early. Then I'm going to clock out, and you can have various files that you attach in case you want to utilize this for your expenses, as you can see here at the bottom. You also have a map as the geolocator starts to come into play and knowing where you checked in and where you checked out. And of course, the notes all the way through are a great way to communicate if there's a clock in, clock out, and then a clock in, clock out again all the way through. This will all be fully serviced within the app and is the component that we're working on completing right now. All of which will be ready for SPAC, and we'll be happy to show it to you live when you're there. Or if anyone wants to, you can book a session with me beforehand. I can go through any of the specifics relating directly to your studio. And there's also a demo suite at SPAC. We'll tell you more about it in our January webinar, but that allows you to book a time off the trade show floor. We all know how busy that trade show floor can get. And as of a few days ago, SPAC is sold out. So being able to book a private session where you come up, we can go through any of the details that you're looking for or the specific questions that you have. But we continue to try and make Air Studio as complete of a solution as utterly possible. And this step into the app has become a huge critical part of it. Q&A. Oh, here we go. I see one. Does the employee have the capability of inputting their availability and days that they are not available to work? There is an availability level on there, but right now we are working on expanding that so that that impacts what you can see within the system. So yes, they can, but it hasn't gotten to the depth that we're hoping to bring it to by the time we come out and see you.
Well, and people do, they put in time off requests and availability requests that then get routed to a person or people, scheduling managers. We're working right now on the reporting to use that for who's on and who's off. Is that what you're talking
That's
about?
what I
Basically,
think.
yeah,
I think that's what Matt is looking for.
yeah,
So, and also we're working on different ways to have resource allocation or resource reporting more visible within the system as well.
yeah. We've
So,
got there's some of the bigger studios are all working with us to design what we think is the best way. If that makes sense.
yeah,
That works with
exactly.
everybody. And that's one of the cool things I love about the platform is that everybody's got great ideas and we throw it in there and then it's available to everybody.
Well, I think you guys can probably identify we are all doing the same thing. We're all providing portraits for kids and graduates and sport and athletes, but everybody has their own distinct flavors. So whenever you're trying to create a system that's going to assist in a specific industry, as we've done here, there's always different variables, and we are a actively developing company that wants to hear the different ways because we'd obviously love it if you like the way we did it, but we're open to hearing other ways to do things as well. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed. Jump into the LinkedIn or Facebook and search us out and sign up and follow our pages because we're always sharing information there as well. So thanks again for your time. Look forward to chatting with you all at SPAC and seeing you all soon.